Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of On the Move with the Caravan Sports Preview Show with Jim Powers. He's Jim Powers. I'm Chris Miller. All of our episodes are brought to you by Wiley Agencies. You can get multiple policies with one agent. His name is Sean Wiley. You can get it on your car, your house, your motorcycle, your boat, anything like that. Okay, you need to give him a call, though, if you need that insurance. You call him at his Festus office at 636-764-6294 or his Hillsborough office at 636-333-9903. Jim, guess what this week is?
This
Take a
is
guess.
called State Championship Week. And by the way, I want to thank Sean Wiley for covering me for all the stupid predictions that I've made over the last 3 weeks. I'm glad I've got an insurance guy that's covered me, because if I would have been betting, it would have been bad.
Yeah, well, that's just part of it. That's high school sports. That's just the way it is. We've said
Oh
that
my
from the
gosh.
get go that you get here, anything can happen, and kids got to show up and play. And
Yeah,
whatever you did in the past doesn't matter. It's that one game at a time thing. And we've got some teams that have definitely proven that.
without a doubt. And semifinal Saturday was just absolutely, off the chart ridiculous. I know we're going to get into some games here, but I mean, legends were made this past weekend, and there's a couple of players that are not going to be forgotten in an awfully long time with what they did to get their teams out the furrow field this weekend. Yeah, I mean, and a few surprises along the way, but you know what? 5 teams from this side of the state playing in the state championships this weekend, and some terrific battles, some great matchups. I'm excited. I'll be on the call for the Class 4, Class 5, and Class 6 games on Mission.tv. And in talking to the coaches, there's a buzz. There's a lot of excitement. A lot of the old guard is still there, but there's new blood there, and we're going to get into that here in a second. But yeah, I'm excited to be here in Columbia and get ready to rock and roll with the 8-man game later tonight, and then 6 games over 2 days coming up here tomorrow and Saturday.
It's awesome. It's awesome for the kids in this time of year, and it should be a lot of fun. And hey, if I get a chance, maybe I'll tune in and listen to that call, Jim. I mean, by a true consummate professional here. And if anybody else wants to, Mission TV, you can tune in. Yeah, I know you love it. So speaking of Class Six,
Can
which
we talk to the games? Can we talk about the games now?
we're going to talk about games. So talking about a Class 6, we are set up for a very good matchup, I think. Jim, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, and once again, you want to talk about a game that solidified somebody's his career. You look at what Jeremiah Macklin did on Saturday against the Smet. This kid willed his cadets into the victory, playing on a broken foot, just would not come off the field. And then the one-handed catch that he made may have been the catch of the year, if not the catch of the decade. And I know we're only in 2023. I mean, yeah, and in talking to Scott Pingle this week, he just was like, he's one of the best that I've ever coached. And, Scott's coached a lot of great dudes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just the job that Jeremiah did, and, getting, taking that one blemish off the record, and knocking off the Smet the second time they play, in a great ball game. It was an instant classic, and the Spartans had a great team this year, but CBC is hitting it on all cylinders right now. Now the $1 million question is going to be: can J Mac get on the field Saturday night at Furrow Field? It's going to be really interesting to see what the Ohio State recruit is going to be able to do, because Liberty North is going to be that team. They are big. They play a very different defense than what we're accustomed to seeing. They play 3 safeties over the top. They walk down into some different transitions, different play calls. They've got a really good quarterback as well. I mean, this is going to be a battle. These two teams played 2 years ago, and they played last year in the state semifinal. So they're very familiar with each other. It's just going to be a question on, I think if Macklin's on the field, I think CBC can win. If he's not, then it falls on to Gabe McKee, the quarterback, to try and decipher that 3 high safety set that Liberty North runs. And plus, they've just got a monster DN that's got 13 sacks on the year. So it's going to be an interesting matchup on Saturday night at 7 o'clock at Faroe. But what a way to end, state championship week with those two teams. Once again, they're familiar with each other. They know each other extremely well, and it's just going to be a knockdown drag out on Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely. And congratulations to Rockhurst on their fine
Oh
run
my
too.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah, a good team run up against a hot team like Liberty North, and both teams actually being hot at the right time. You said it right. Instant classic for semifinal games
Yeah, and
all the way around.
Kelly Donahoe walking in, filling the shoes of the legend, Tony Severino. Couple down years, not what you expect out of Rock, but he's got them back, and they're loaded for the next couple years. And Kelly does such a great job in coaching, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see that Rockhurst team grow. But I'm going to tell you right now, Class Six over the next 3-4 years is going to be off the charts because the talent level is just going to be stupid, ridiculously good on both sides of the state.
It's going to be interesting to see if Michigan continues to, because they kind of revamped a little bit between last year's classifications and this year's classifications with football with Class 5 and 6. And if it continues to be where it is like it is this year, yes, you're right. I can see Class 6 being really exciting and kind of up in the air, really.
Yeah, and I think they're going to. One of the big things that the coaches really, really would like, and in talking to the coaches this week, and just talking to any of the coaches, they want to get back to all the championship games on Thanksgiving weekend. And so there's going to have to be some changes made on the schedule. Do you go to an 8-game regular season schedule? Do you start a week earlier? But they're not moving off the 42 for Class 6. And I was talking to some of the Mission folks. They're not moving off of that. That's what they want to do right now, and kind of see what happens down on the bottom side with 8-man in Class 1. So yeah, I think if we see 42 teams in 6, it's going to be terrific.
I agree, and I agree. And I personally, from a basketball standpoint, I would love to see us maybe move it back a week or figure out a way where we can have it all wrapped up so the kids that play multiple sports can have an opportunity. And that's not just for football; it's for soccer and everything else. The overlap really hurts men's sports in the state of Missouri, but
Well,
that's another topic we could probably really dive into.
no, and you're exactly right. And I know for the smaller schools, especially, it kills their basketball teams because you're not getting your basketball players until next week. And then, you've already lost your kids for 2.5 weeks. So, no, I get it. The coaches get it. I think that's why the push to move everything to Thanksgiving weekend again is going to happen sooner than later.
I would like to see that, but that's again, it's maybe a selfish thing for me, but I
Now,
agree. I would like to see that happen. So we'll go ahead and jump into Class 5 without any further delay by me complaining. And Jim, I seen one of these scores probably going one way, but I did not see the other one going the other. So let's hear your thoughts.
yeah, Ritter, you knew what they were going to do. I mean, Ritter is Ritter. McVey is just playing out of his mind. I mean, their defense is doing what they do. We knew Ritter was going to win. Republic and Webb, once again, another instant classic. Republic able to gut out a 21-20 win. This is the second time they beat Webb this year. And Republic's got some great kids. They're very good defensively, but they haven't seen what's coming at them, and that's called the steamroller called Cardinal Ritter. Ritter with all their speed on the edges and different things. Now, here's the one kicker. You look at that first game there. Republic did beat Helias, and Helias was the only team that gave Ritter any shot this year. So you don't rule out Republic just yet, but it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to, respond to the speed that Cardinal Ritter is going to throw all over the place. And Republic is a team that likes to keep everything bottled up. They like to funnel stuff into the middle. They're not very strong in the pass defensive game. So their biggest key in talking to their coach was we just can't let Cardinal Ritter take the top off and go deep. So it'll be an interesting matchup, but I like Ritter in this one.
I do too. I mean, again, Republic, great team, great run, getting there and being in the mix here. Beat a good Webb team again,
Yeah.
and I mean, I kind of thought Webb would have their number this time around. Kind of one of those things. But hey, credit to them to even make this far. And again, you just never know what happens when these games start, and it can happen Everybody expects pundits, coaches, players. So you have to be ready to play. And if Ritter's ready to play, I think it's theirs all the way. That's just
Oh,
my prediction.
if Ritter comes in locked and loaded, the Friday night game that starts at 7 o'clock will be over by 9. And I'm not saying this in any disrespect to Republic. Ritter is faster than them. Ritter is more dynamic offensively than them. This is the first time Republic has seen a team that's got this much speed all over the field. I'm just not talking offensively. I'm talking about speed at the end. I'm talking about speed in the linebacker position. And I'm also talking about, speed when it comes to the back end on that secondary. No disrespect to Republic. They've had a terrific year. They just haven't seen a team like Ritter, and that is going to cause them big, big issues.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like nobody's really seen that except for maybe playing those big time prep schools. Maybe some of those teams out of Illinois,
Right.
maybe in East St. Louis style. And Cardinal Ritter has that kind of talent. They have those kinds of players, and they have that kind of speed. And if you're not accustomed to that, you can't simulate that in practice. That doesn't mean that's the same for any sport when you're talking, a contact sport or an up and down sport. And that's a hard thing for coaches to do. So if they can use what they've done and affect, maybe jam up some guys at the line to keep those guys from getting downfield. Yeah, I can see where they can play with them. But man, I'll tell you what, Ritter is just on another level.
Without a doubt. And once again, I mean, everybody across the board's picking Ritter in this one, and I don't blame them. If Republic can answer the bell early, take that first punch and weather it, then I think they can hang around a little bit. I just don't see it happening. And once again, there's no disrespect to those kids. It's going to be a fun game for me to call. But Ritter is just at another level. Ritter can compete with a lot of Class 6 teams and beat them. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. And, kudos and congratulations to Cape Central for making it to the state semifinals. Just ran up against the Buzzsaw.
Yeah.
I mean, what a great season for them. I know I got a lot of family that roots for Cape Central, but at the same time, it's like, hey, that was a magical ride. But again, a lot of teams have ran up against Cardinal Ritter this year and have felt that buzzsaw. So it's just part of it. You just gotta play who's in front of you, and unfortunately, they were on that side of the bracket.
Right, without a doubt, and great season for them. But now here we go. We got a great matchup in Class 5. It'll be interesting to see.
Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and jump to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to go Class 4, Class 3, Class 2, and Class 1. Should be good. We'll see you in a little bit. We'll have some more On the Move with the Caravan Sports Preview Show really quick. Right back.
I'm the captain of the Pee Wee football team. We may be small, but we are
mighty,
annoying. And you are so tired from playing defense against us that your focus is about to ride the bench. Woo! Go, go, go. Thanks, Mom.
Bye.
Come on, come on. And if you have cut rate car insurance, then not even a Hail Mary will save you from paying for this. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Are you tired of boring sports talk shows? Then tune in to the Coach's Box. These guys don't just talk sports. They talk about whatever the heck they want to talk about. Watch new episodes of the Coach's Box each week for free on Facebook, YouTube, or the Streamline Sports app.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to On the Move, the Caravan Sports Preview Show with Jim Powers. All of our episodes are brought to you by Wiley Agencies. Listen, if you need insurance, you need to go ahead and call Sean today. Your house, your car, your motorcycle, your boat, whatever, your RV. That's a good time. It's a good time of the year to go out and do one of those things. So give Sean a call today. The number is at the top of the screen. We leave it up there so you guys can see. You don't have to listen to me read it. I like to read it because, well, that's part of our deal. But at the same time, this time, I'm just going to let you read it. So, Jim, let's read it into something a little bit deeper here. How about Class 4? Let's talk about Class 4 state championship. Yes.
Let's talk about Class 4. And Golly, this is a game. These two teams are mirror images of each other. Hillsboro, they took it to Lutheran North, the number one team in the state, all year long. They took it to them, and they used that physical play up front. They got, the Jones boys the Brown boys got it going early and often, and they were able to just take Lutheran North to the woodshed. And, that was a terrific win. Kearney beats Jeff City handily. So now you've got two teams that, in talking to both coaches, I'm talking to Bill Sarkowski, excuse me, and, Kearney's coach, both of their comments to me was, well, we know each other pretty well, so it's going to be pretty easy to go through practices this week because we do the same stuff. And they do. You got two teams that are built on the run game. You got two teams that are built offensive, defensive lines to be big, physical, nasty. You got two linebacking cores that can fly to the football. And you got two sets of safe secondaries that play extremely well. I don't know who's going to win this game. This game may turn out to be the best game of the weekend. And unfortunately, it's the first game on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. I wish this was under the lights, but my gosh, these two teams are so similar when you watch them on film. And I've had a chance to see, Hillsboro. I talked to Bill, yesterday, and they're excited. He loves what the, Peyton and his brother have done this year, loves what their defense has been doing. And for Bill, it's great too. It's a great story. Number one, he gets to enjoy this with his two kids. He's got, Jason's
Right.
senior, then they've got a freshman, his freshman son. How cool is it that a dad who graduated from Hillsboro, played for Hillsboro, was an assistant at Hillsboro, and now he's the head coach, and now he can take his kids for the first time ever for the Hawks to make it to the state football championships. That is such a cool thing for the community. They've been so close over the last couple of years, and for them to get over the hump. And Kearney, they've been there, done that. They haven't been there since 16. They won in 15, and I was on the call for that game when they beat Webb City in the last minute of the ball game. When Greg Jones was the coach there, and it hasn't changed. It's the power run game. They diversify a little bit with the pass. Once again, two teams that are eerily similar to each other. This is going to be a fun one. I cannot wait to see these two teams get after it on Saturday morning.
Yeah, and very similar styles, and I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter where you're from. If you have those local schools like Hillsboro, you always root for them, even if there's a tough rivalry, because you want to see the good
Right.
teams out of the area be represented. And we have a lot of you said it at the beginning of the show, a lot of representation off this side of the state from the St. Louis metro area. Obviously, we'll talk about a couple more here that are just a little south of that, but at the same time, that it's an awesome thing for Hillsboro to have that opportunity for their kids, and obviously Coach Shaharski to be able to experience that as well. So, I'm rooting for him. I think it's going to be a close game. I think you're 100% right. I hate saying that too, but 100% right. These two teams are very, very, very similar and have very similar styles. So, you are right. Again, it's unfortunate that it is.
I can't believe
I know.
Miller is saying
hate it.
that I'm correct about something.
I know. It's really eerie that I'm doing that. It's unfortunate that their game isn't under the lights, and it is that morning game. But at the same time, that's just the luck of the draw. I'm sure both teams will be coached up, ready to go, and it should be a fun one.
Yeah, without a doubt. And once again, they're excited. Their kids get to play at Furrow Field. Some of those, and I'll say this just about any of this. You want to end your season at Furrow Field because for a lot of these seniors, you hate to say it, this is going to be the last football game that they play in.
Yeah.
And they get to play in the crown jewel of football in the state of Missouri, in Furrow Field, Memorial Stadium. It doesn't get any better than that for the kids and for the communities, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, exactly. I think this game is going to be it's going to go down to the wire. This is going to be the one game I think of the weekend that will go down to last possession possibly.
Should be a fun one. And you are calling that game, are you not?
Yes, I will be on the call Saturday morning at 11:00.
There you go. I can't believe you get up that early. All right, and then moving on to oh, did I
There
say
it
that? I
is.
said it. I
Yes, you
said it.
did.
That's what you get for being right. All right, and then we'll talk about Class 3. This is a good one right here, Jim. We got another local school making it to the state championship.
Once again, Sean Wiley, thank you for covering me because I kept saying all year long that Blair Oaks was going to be the state champ, and guess what? No, I mean, Corey Slice has done an unbelievable job with Park Hill Central. This is a team that lost 3 straight in the middle of the year. This is a team that was just decimated with injuries in that stretch. And once they got everybody healthy, here we go. And, they knocked off a terrific Borgia team. Then, once again, you go to Blair Oaks and knock Blair Oaks out of the state tournament. That is saying something. And, they're loaded right now. They're ready to roll. Seneca, great victory. They've been in the top 5 pretty much all year long in Class 3. I like this matchup. And the big part of it is you got a Rebels team that is healthy. And we saw what their offense can do the last 2 weeks in averaging nearly 50 points a game over the last 2 playoff games. Let's go. Let's see what's going to happen with this one. I think this could be a really good game as well. Seneca's got a really dynamic quarterback. They do a lot of, funky things, so to say, offensively. They're going to throw some different looks and different sets. We'll see how Park Hill Central can, finagle around this thing. But, once again, Friday morning, 11:00, that game will be. I'll be there for that to watch as a fan up in the press box. But this is going to be a really good one, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And both schools playing for the state championship, knocking off the assumed favorites, because I think a lot of people had St. Pius KC advancing to the state championship game. And I would have to say that unless you lived in Park Hills, you were probably picking Blair Oaks. I would have assumed, because of how well they've played, that they would have been the easy pick. I assumed they would win. I do know that Park Hills, and we said it before, and you mentioned it here, that when healthy, extremely dangerous. And talk about great coaching and keeping the kids focused, keeping them motivated. And then once everybody was healthy, here they go. And they have an opportunity to make history at the school. And I'll tell you what, they have had some really good groups of athletes the last few years, with the boys team in basketball making it to the Final Four last year, and then the girls team as well. And now you have the football team. And that just shows what kind of athletes the kids have in that community.
Well, once again, it's something me and you have talked about. Winning breeds winning. We look at, you just mentioned Park Hill Central. You talk about Hillsborough, and me and Bill talked about that, on my podcast yesterday. We talked about how just that winning mentality, you get one team that does it, then another team's going to want to do it, and it's that snowball effect. And that's what you see down in Park Hill Central. This is going to be a great game. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, tomorrow morning at 11:00. I'm excited for this one.
I am as well, because I really want to see. I'd like to see Park Hills kind of move through here and take care of business, and really show that this area has some really good football in it. And I like to have the local schools represent. So yeah, I don't root for anybody in Southwest or KC. So that's just me. I'm kind of a homer. We've already established that. Class 2. That's right. Class 2 is going to be an interesting matchup here, I think, Jim. I maybe disagree with you about the Hillsborough Kearney game being the one. I'm really curious to see how this one's going to go down.
These 2 teams hate each other. Let's just put it that way. They have been through too many of these games against each other, and it's been a while since we've seen these 2 teams take on each other in the state championship. I mean, once again, Judd he does what Judd does, and that's get kids ready to go to win football games. They got bumped up to 3 the last couple of years. They finally got moved back down to 2, where they belong. And we saw what they can do year long, and they knocked off a really good Fairgrove team convincingly last week. Now they get the other bullies on the block in Class 2, and that's that team from Southwest, and that's Lamar. I mean, you're talking about two teams combined between the two of them, 24 state championships.
That's
Sick
incredible.
how good these two teams really, truly are. Lamar runs the weirdest offense ever. It's very tough to defend. Valley has seen it firsthand. I mean, once again, these two teams matched up down at the Dome in the old days when we used to have the state championship down there. And those were battles. Those were just knockdown, drag-out heavyweight fights. We're going to see one here. This game will be the middle game on Saturday. And thank goodness that I'm not calling this one because I want to be a fanboy for this one because I love these two programs. And I just want to sit in the middle booth, away from the broadcast and just fanboy this one because these are two terrific teams, two great coaches. I mean, the programs are historic. I'm not even going down a road to pick who wins. They're both playing at a high level right now. I just think for football, when you've got Valley and you've got Lamar in a state championship in the lower classifications, all is right in the world.
I agree. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It is. You're right. They don't like each other. And that's the reason I wanted to see this game.
Yeah, without a doubt. No doubt about it. I mean,
so if I can figure out a time to watch it, I'm definitely going to. If not, I might go back and watch it later.
You can watch the archive. You can watch the archive of Mission.tv.
True.
There's a shameless plug.
There it is. And we'll go ahead and jump real quick into Class 1. I got to say, I was rooting for St. Vincent. That was an incredible run that they had. Maranville is just pretty good. Jim, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Maranville's been number one all season for a reason, and they showed, St. Vincent why they are number one. North Platte has been playing off the charts as well. They've been in the top 5 all year. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Defense will be optional, so to say. But my gosh, two of the top teams that have been in the rankings all year long are going to get after it. And this will be the middle game on Friday afternoon at 3:00, I believe, or 2:30. But yeah, this will be a fun one, and I like Maranville in this. North Platte, they do a lot of great things, but Maranville has just been that team all year long, and I don't see anything differently. They've been number one all season for a reason, and I think they're going to be the number one team when it's all done.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, North Platte, they obviously have had a good run themselves, and they beat a good Milan team. But I see Maranville coming away with this one and another big win for the Comets here to take the championship. I've been wrong before though, so you never know. I mean,
how many times have I been wrong over the last 3 weeks?
Well, I didn't really want to keep count, but hang on, I'm kidding.
That's why I've got Sean Wiley, as my back pocket insurance guy. So, but no, I mean, the playoffs. I mean, once again, and the great thing is we're seeing some of the old guard, but it's great that we're seeing some of the new blood in there as well. And that's the really cool thing. We're seeing kids that haven't experienced this. Like Carney, they haven't been here in 7 years. First time for those kids. Hillsborough, first time ever that they've been there. Park Hill Central, first time. And then you got the old guard with CBC Liberty North. They've been there. They've done it. Now let's see who's going to win the ball game. Ritter's been there. Republic hasn't. So it's really great that we have a good mix this year of teams that have been there and teams that haven't.
100% agree. And you want to see that, like we said at the last episode, where it's kind of like you want to see the start of those dynasties now for some of these new teams and see if they can keep things going. But hey, Jim, the next time we have a show, we're going to be talking about recapping the state championship games. And then we're going to be moving into our winter sport, basketball.
Can I talk about my 3? Hey, can I talk about my 3-game winning streak?
No.
Okay.
No, not yet.
So.
No, you can do that on the coach's box. No,
Too soon?
You're going to mess up the streak. Real quick, talk about the Turkey Day Classic. I don't want you to leave that one out.
Yeah, in Kirkwood, I mean, my gosh, Kirkwood came out and punched Webster in the mouth early, and it just continued. And, Kirkwood showed I think they took out a little pent-up frustration in losing to CBC the way that they did over Webster. Webster's vastly improved, but they just ran into an absolute, offensive buzzsaw with Kirkwood. I mean, they just took it at them. But once again, you got 5,000 people there in Turkey, and the weather was perfect. It was 50 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. As I opened up our broadcast, I said, in the immortal words of our dear friend Jay Randolph Jr., who passed away a year ago, it's a Chamber of Commerce day here in West County. And it was a great day for the kids. It was a great day for the two communities. I wish the game would have been a little bit closer, but I'm telling you, I think it's going to be in years to come. But it was a lot of fun. Kirkwood, got the win, and the Frisco Bell stays at Kirkwood High School for another year. 10 years in a row, that bell has stayed in Kirkwood.
Well, and it's good that they, you talk about all the stuff that the community gets together and does.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. And you like to see that from rival schools. You like to see those kinds of things. And you would like to see a closer game. But, hey, you know what? Both communities won at the end because you got together, and that's what it's all about.
No, without a doubt. And that's the cool thing about that rivalry. Everything that they do in the lead up to it. And then, like I said, at 10 o'clock in the morning, you got tailgate parties going on in the parking lot. You got, family members, community members all getting together. And then at noontime at kickoff, you got 5,000 people sitting in a football stadium on Thanksgiving Day. It's just terrific. It's just really, really cool. And I'm glad for the 12th year to be able to be a part of that, great tradition. And it was a lot of fun once again.
Yeah. And hopefully one of these days I can get a chance to watch it and be a part of it. I'm always busy. I got family and Thanksgiving stuff I got to do. But hey, when you grow up in those communities, that's part of your tradition. So that's cool. It's something you pass down to your kids, and you just keep doing that. And that's, I can't keep saying enough. That's what it is all about. And
the other thing we're going to talk about next week too is the Norm Stewart Classic is next week out in Columbia, out at Mizzou Arena. So we're also going to talk about that next week because we got some local teams that are making a trip over to Como to play in that, and I'll be there for that. Well, it's no longer the overnights, thank God. Right. But yeah, it's going to be some great games, a lot of fun, and we'll talk a little bit about that next week as well.
Absolutely. Well, next week we'll be recapping the state championship games, and we'll see how Jim picked this coming week. Yeah, surely you should get some of these right, but we'll see. You never know.
Tune into the coach's box tonight, and you may get my picks. It may happen.
May get those picks.
But anyway, to call Sean Wiley to make sure he's backing me on everything.
Absolutely. So appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of On the Move with the Caravan Sports Preview Show. As Jim mentioned, we will see you all again next week. Don't forget to tune into these games on Misha TV if you can't make the trip to Columbia. And if you are making the trip to Columbia, please be safe. Enjoy the moment and let the kids soak it up, because it's what it's all about. And these kids will appreciate the memories, win or lose, because it's what you're playing for. And it is the ultimate goal in high school sports, no matter what, is to have a chance to win that state championship.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to watch these kids get after it. The 8-man game's going on tonight and here in a couple hours, actually. And, it's just great for the kids. It's great for the communities. I just can't wait to get the ball on the field and let's go.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, we will see you guys all again next week, so don't forget to tune in for another episode On the Move with the Caravan Sports Preview Show. Jim Powers, I'm Chris Miller. You guys have a great one. Be safe, be careful, and we'll see you all again soon. This episode of On the Move with the Caravan is brought to you by Off the Rails Media. Life's more fun when you're off the rails.
Are you tired of boring sports talk shows? Then tune in to the Coach's Box. These guys don't just talk sports. They talk about whatever the heck they want to talk about. Watch new episodes of the Coach's Box each week for free on Facebook, YouTube, or the Streamline Sports app.